Hey, drop.
Welcome to episode 3 of the Buchanan County Sports Podcast. Joined here today by Tim and Chris. Guys, going to go over last week. Golf on Tuesday, Mason and Brody, 39 each. Grundy came out on top on the team scores, 175, Hurley 182, Council 234. And Tim, by the way, helped me with this. Exactly what does this mean? Because I know they only had one golfer.
Incomplete.
I guess if you don't got 4 players, you're incomplete.
Yes.
Okay, so Twin Valley was incomplete. Grundy, 175. There are players, Mason Boyd, 39. Brody Ford, 39. Wade Clevenger, 46. Graham Pittman, 51. Parker Hughes, 61. Carter Deal, 61. Hurley, 182. Ethan Deal, 42. Braden Hopkins, 43. Jackson Harden, 45. Ethan Matney, 52. Henry Deal, 53. And Chloe Vance, 57. Twin Valley had Ben Mayhew with a 48. Council, 234, with Connor Ellswick at 47. Jacob Bray at 56. Caleb Mullins, 62. And I don't have the score for Ben Stevens. I'm not sure there. But then also that same night, volleyball, Grundy, 3-0, 25-18, 25-19, 25-21. We'll touch on some of the stats. Destany, another great performance, 10 service points, 6 aces, 13 digs, 19 assists, 1 kill. Leah Rasnick, 6 service points, 2 aces, 11 digs, 8 kills, 3 blocks. Sophie Belcher, 7 service points, 3 aces, 7 digs, 12 kills, 4 blocks. Addison Bell, 3 service points, 5 digs, 8 assists, 5 kills, 1 block. Ryleigh Church, 3 service points, 1 ace, 14 digs, 3 assists, and 9 kills. Clara Griffey, 7 service points, 3 aces, 9 digs. And Madison Lester, 3 digs and 2 kills. Hurley would go 5 sets against Tazewell that night, 3-2. They went down in the first set, 19-25, won the second, 25-17, won the third, 25-18, but lost the fourth, 26-24, and then lost the final 5th set, 16-14. Enix Branch, guys, do you got some of the results on the cross country?
Yes. I can get them.
I'll get you to maybe go on them a little bit. I'll go ahead and read Thursday's volleyball action off while you're looking for the cross country. Grundy against Graham. Grundy 3-1. Lost the first set 19-25, but won the second, third, and fourth 25-10, 25-18, and 25-13. Destany with 14 service points, 4 aces, 17 digs, 26 assists, and 1 kill. Leah Rasnick, 7 service points, 3 aces, 8 digs, 9 kills. Sophie Belcher, 13 service points, 4 aces, 8 digs, 18 kills, 3 blocks. Addison Bell, 4 service points, 1 ace, 9 digs, 8 assists, 3 kills, 1 block. Ryleigh Church, 4 service points, 1 ace, 14 digs, 11 kills. Clara Griffey, 14 service points, 4 aces, and 11 digs. And Michaela Estep, 4 kills. Also in action that night was Hurley, as they took on Richlands at Hurley. Richlands won 3-0, 25-17, 25-13, and 25-17. Also, Montcalm and Twin Valley played that night, 43-6 Montcalm. Tim, you got the cross country for?
No,
okay.
I have not found it yet. I
Alrighty.
apologize. Might have expired.
Friday, football action. Hurley would lose to Eastside 47-0, and Grundy would lose to Ryleigh 48-6. Guys, any thoughts or comments on any of that?
Before we jump into football, I'm going to just kind of touch on this real fast on the Tazewell and Hurley
volleyball match. I looked at it, and it shows improvement when you look at what Hurley's done with Tazewell here. Emily Mullins with 10 kills and 23 service points. 23 service points.
23 service points. Wow.
That's crazy. If that's not an error, and they sent this to me with 7 digs, that's crazy.
Well, I mean, the Tazewell one did go 5 sets.
Yeah.
So it's probably correct, I'd say.
But that means that they're playing better, and they're, like I say, they even
the Tazewell game I watched that night, and it was good. I mean, they should have won. They went up 2-1, and then of course lost the 4th and the 5th there. But
which was like a sudden death, win the 2 kind of thing. But yeah, I just want to touch on that, and kind of think, congratulate them. They're getting better. Just keep digging in, keep working hard, and they'll get there. But on to football. I'm sorry.
Well, we'll go back to the cross country here. We got it pulled up. Destany, she would end up being the top finisher for the girls at a time of 24:40, and 2 seconds behind her was her sister.
That's what I was telling you. Her sister's going to outrun her.
Leah, right?
Leah, yes.
Yep. Other notables, Ava Ward, 7th at 28:56. Skylar Baker of Hurley, which was actually an 8th grader, 29:28. We've got Ella Robertson of Grundy, 30:22.
She's tough. Ella's tough.
Emily Lockhart, junior of Hurley, 34:23. Allie Compton of Council, a freshman, 34:53. Yep. Savannah Childress, sophomore of Grundy, 38:06. Emma O'Quinn, senior Grundy, 40:16. Kyrie Taylor, Twin Valley, 43:43. And that's all for the girls. On the boys' side, had Keyston Hartford, another great performance, 18:18, 6 seconds on the win there. Braden Conaway finished 4th. At 20:03, Ethan Deal, a 8th grader, 20:48 for Hurley. A freshman, White Street, freshman Grundy, 21:43. Ryder Anderson, a senior Grundy. I failed to mention the positions, but they're all bunched together with the middle school ones, so I will just give the times 23:36 on Ryder. Jesse Ray, junior Council, 24:22. Sophomore at Hurley, Daniel Rife, 26:23. Derek Jackson, an 8th grader at Hurley, 27:32. And then a sophomore Hurley, Peyton Sloan, 30:41. Henry Breeding of Twin Valley, 30:45. And Weston Deal, sophomore Grundy, 46:16.
Let's touch on Keyston Hartford there. He had done the race at the Knights Crossing.
Yeah, you had
finished
sent that
4th
to me.
over. I think it was like a total of all the different divisions, like over 700 people.
Near 800.
Yeah. There were different divisions. That's from like 6th grade up, but still, even his division, there's probably a couple hundred or more. And his time was at 15:36 in 5th place, behind the winner, which was at 15:15.
So not far.
No, I'm talking a stumble away from winning this thing.
Yeah.
And that many people. I mean, that's incredible on what this kid's able to do, and just keep churning on what he's doing. I'm just super proud of the way he takes his stuff serious.
See another state title probably.
I hope he does. I like to see him. He works extremely hard at it. Some people may not see it this way, but running is a craft. When you think about, as we've talked to Ella and some of these runners, Destiny touched on it, is that you've got to focus. There's certain times when to run hard, to slack off, but I'm not talking to Keyston about this, but I'm just wondering if this is a trail that he's not run before, and if it's not, how much better could he be knowing the trail now and how to pace himself,
And real quick, we'll get back to that in just a second, but I also want to remind everybody to be sure to check out your latest podcast, Courtside with Chris. He sat down with Ella there and had a real good interview. I thought it went really well.
Super special young lady. She really is. I wish her the best.
There are big things going to happen with that girl.
Yeah. for sure.
Huge
Someday,
things.
someday we'll be looking up, and she's just going to do great things. I really truly believe that. She's got a good head on her shoulders.
Well, other than and I watched it, and what I want to touch on with her is she puts God first.
Her faith.
Yeah.
Bold, and that's what I like.
Yeah,
about she's really bold in her faith.
Yeah.
And Chris mentioned the date that she got baptized and everything. It's
very emotional.
Very emotional for her.
And it should be.
You could tell that
it shows the realness of just being authentic.
Yeah. And I think it's what you have done so far with the two that you had and what you'll do in the future. And, we've also got Tim here in a couple months.
Matt talk with Tim. Yeah. So be wrestling.
Yeah. Wrestling related, so be sure to check that out when it comes around. But guys, on a couple things to touch on. Grundy volleyball still churning out the wins. Looks like it's going to be a great season. We talked to Hannah last week, and she talked about how important it was to get that win over Honaker, and it wasn't a dog fight that we thought it would be.
No,
they went over and took it in straight sets. I know you was real shocked when I told you I was watching.
Straight sets what got me.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say I was shocked to the point. I was more surprised that it went straight sets.
Yeah.
I knew they had a chance of beating them because of the way they've been playing. But to do it in straight sets.
Thought it would be.
That's pretty good stuff.
Tough fight. But 25-18, 25-19, and 25-21. I mean.
And Chris pointed this out. I think it was last weekend when he was doing this, 25, 25, 25. They've hit that 25 mark about every game that they've played, haven't they, Chris?
Mm-hmm.
And you pointed that out.
That they've played well.
Yeah, they played well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you pointed that out, and it's just amazing that that's the number that they make.
Well, yeah, time. 25 would be the number, but it's the consistency of it is that their service points, and it's not like Destiny spoke on it earlier. It's that every single girl, she couldn't do it if it wasn't for the girls behind her.
That's right.
That's any team. That's whether it's Hurley, Twin Valley,
whoever.
You got to have the extra girls to step in, and when sometimes you're not going to have your best game.
No.
Serving points is where it's at. If you have a bad game, sometimes you can still dig, you can still spot, but your serve may be off, and that can really make you feel sluggish, and then the other girls got to pick it up. So
I just want to hope. I'd like to challenge Hurley and Twin Valley to and Grundy. I mean, to do their best, and what they put in practice is what they're going to get out of practice, and they're doing good. I've seen where Hurley, you touched on it, Chris. Where Hurley is picking it up and coming to the front, and they're not giving up. And once again with Twin Valley with Lexi, she's coaching them up. And again, this week there are going to be some tough games. Of course, we're going to go over right here in a minute, but there are going to be some tough games this week in volleyball for all the teams.
We touched on the golf. Grundy still churning out the good performances. 2 medalists this week, tied at a 39, Mason and Brody, and 175. The closest one was Hurley at 182.
See, that's
still getting on the door.
Still getting close there.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd like to see Hurley knock them off.
Yeah.
Give them a little bit more.
And we've already weekly. I'm not sure if this is all their golfers normally, but we see like these 6 names on here every week, and we've already had 3 of them on the podcast as players of the week.
Yeah.
Incredible group there, and Graham actually kind of took a little bit of a step back this week and everything, and
I like what Chris said. He fell off the wagon.
We had a great performance by Wade Clevenger pulling up with a 46. Yep. So quite a few of them there, and all doing great. And then we mentioned the track. And was you able to go this week?
I was there at cross country.
Cross country. I'm sorry.
I was there, and you was talking about Keyston, Chris. I'm going to say that boy ran 5 miles before his race even started, just warming up. He's just a machine.
That would be it for me.
And not just picking him out, but up at Enix Branch, all the county teams done excellent. Hurley had some good showings. Twin Valley has a couple kids.
Yeah.
But about all they have is two or three kids, but they done great. There was no quit in either county schools. They was some schools from Allen County come in, give a little competition. So that we're always wanting competition to come in. But overall, in our county schools here in our county, everybody done an excellent job.
Yeah.
They wasn't nobody just flat out quit. They just everybody done excellent.
Yeah. And then with the football, we all three were in the same place for one night when we went up to Twin Valley. The light situation, it's at Grundy, it's at Twin Valley. It's it was a bit confusing. I'm glad they still had a decent crowd.
Yeah, I don't know who came up with the idea to get the lights to have a secondary option, but kudos to them because it was, you never know in that situation. Once you get the kids and the fans there, you do want to have a backup. So whether it was Ray Blankenship or whoever it was that had that to happen, I'm sure the parents and the fans that was there appreciate that.
And it sounds like it was an overwhelming response for it. I seen the day it happened or the announcement was made. The community was, no offense to Grundy, they were not interested at all in having their game in their last season played anywhere besides their home field, which I can truly understand that. And I'm glad that whoever, I'm assuming it was probably their supervisor or whatever, Ray, that headed this up, getting this done, or whoever it was. I don't want to give credit where it's not due or whatever, but whoever was responsible for it, definitely
We'll
kudos.
just say it was Tommy.
Yeah,
Tommy Krieger
did it.
Oh,
Krieger would be glad to take the credit.
Tommy,
I'm
take
sure.
your credit, yeah. But it was Jeff Cooper, the board of supervisors, and Ray Blankenship.
Yeah.
So
So
Ray Blankenship, their school board member, and he stepped in and helped out. And he really jumped on board when he started having negative comments. He really started getting the ball rolling and actually made it happen. And I understand why they didn't want to play anywhere else but their home field as a senior. I understand that.
It's one thing any other time, but with the situation being what it is this year, every single home game is important to the kids, the kids, the communities, and everybody, But then Friday night, me and Tim were at the Grundy game. I actually had my wife with me that night, and it was a little bit of a rough go getting in and out of the stadium. It's rough. I don't know if you've all ever dealt with anything like that, but trying to maneuver someone that you need to help into a facility like that. And, you got kids running around. Kids are going to be kids and different things, and people, with their phone in their face. I have to be very cautious, and I try my best to make sure that she's safe and everything. But we made it up on the bleachers, and she enjoyed the night, and it would have been a lot better if it was a W for Grundy, but it was what it was.
Ryleigh was tough, man. They're always tough.
We were talking about one of the top teams in the state, not just in the area.
I said to several people Friday, we've got the two teams that's going to probably be playing for the region championship in Buchanan County tonight, and neither one of them's from here.
East side went to Hurley, man, and Chris covered that game, and East side's got real talent too. Of course, on the other side of that, Hurley had their quarterback out, Canaan.
One player ain't gonna make up 47 points.
No,
there's no 47-point play.
I'm not gonna say he could, but he could help score.
Well, the tempo may have changed.
Yeah, well, I know
Zach and them. I can get to interview him after the game. Figured give him some time to kind of get his mind right. But the tempo, they had the right set of mind. That was to slow the game down. You could tell it right away. That was Zach's game plan. Try to slow it down to where he could minimize, them having the ball in their hands most of the time. Or, the other side of that is if you can keep the ball and minimize mistakes. That was what was killing them.
It looks like there was several mistakes there. 4 turnovers, if that's correct.
That was backbreaking.
3 fumbles, an interception.
You almost got to play a perfect game. When you're that numbered against you already, right. You almost got to play a perfect game.
I don't know if what you sent me here is how the turnovers occurred. 1 fumble off a handoff, 1 mishap on a kickoff return, one on a punt return, and each side scored on every turnover. Yeah, and the interception.
Yeah, it was. I mean,
it's one thing to have turnovers.
I'm not going to take anything away from East Side. I'm not, because
No.
they've got a very talented team.
Oh, yeah.
And they're going to have majority of those players back. They're pretty much all 11th grade holdbacks, so they're going to have majority of those players back next year. They're going to be contenders again. I'm not taking anything away from them. But from the other side of that is that we're just like Grundy and Twin Valley. We're fighting low numbers.
Yeah.
You know, eventually, you know, East Side will be there if things don't turn around for them. I mean, it's just the way it is. It's a trend throughout Southwest Virginia.
You know, they done went through the same thing that we're going through.
Yep.
What about 15 years ago, I guess now.
Yeah.
Almost, yeah. So
But I will say this. One of the things I didn't like, I'm just going to be honest with you, when you're up 40 points and you keep your starters on the field, it's two things. To me, that don't show very much class. And another aspect of that is you're taking a huge chance of getting your players hurt that you know you stand a chance to win the race.
Yeah, that really didn't make a whole lot of sense to me when you told me that, especially with what they've got to potentially gain out of this season, you know, leaving them in that long with a lead like that. Because if I'm not mistaken, they had already hit the 40 mark at halftime.
Oh, but here's the thing is that I understand a coach has got a rotation. I completely get that. But when you're up that much, what can you learn from that? What can them players possibly learn from that? Matter of fact, you know, I'm over there and I'm watching some of their kids and their demeanor. You know, you got kids that's the D-backs over just kind of singing and dancing and stuff. They're not even into the game. It's not the competitive nature's gone out of the game. So if you get a kid that's on that sideline, it's not getting much playing time.
Put him out there.
Their edge is going to change a little bit. They'll get a little bit of playing time, that, you know, and it helps the team orientation of it later on down the road. Who knows if the injury does happen?
That's right.
Now you got somebody that's got experience.
I know you did say that there was an injury at the end of the game.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, one of the Hurley players, he made the final tackle right there at the end of the game, and it's the same kid that had missed last week that was riding the motorcycle and ended up puncturing a hole in his leg. And good little athlete, came on strong there at the end of the game, but I'm not sure exactly what he hurt. It knocked the breath out of him. And he got up later on and walked off. So
I know. I checked with Coach Deal, and he said he's fine this morning, according to his mom. So he hadn't spoken with his mom, and
I think they were just more concerned he may have tore those stitches loose or something.
Yeah,
but I think he was, you know, doing good whenever I left, or better.
But on the Grundy side of things, similar circumstances on the other side of the mountain that night as well.
Yeah, I think Hurley and Grundy faced two components that just outnumbered us. Hurley and Grundy did. They outnumbered us with numbers, speed, and like Chris said, there was a lot of mistakes on the Hurley side. We just couldn't get nothing going. We had 2 touchdowns by Trey Taylor. That's about all we had. They just keyed so much. But we did have one guy get hurt, Garen Markham. He come to me. He had his shoulder come out of place and went back in place. But there's some kind of tore tire in his shoulder, and he's done for a little while.
That's what they're thinking. It may. Buchanan had something similar to happen. That's the reason he didn't play.
Yeah.
He's got to get evaluated.
So they took him straight to the ER at the ball game. Come back right after halftime and said he's tore something, but they're going to take him somewhere and get him. So just keep him in your prayers, because Garen, he's a quiet kid. He's a senior. Last year's the first year he got to play his whole season since he's been playing football, because the freshman year he got hurt and sophomore year got hurt. Mm-hmm. Now he's senior year he's hurt. So he's had a bad lick. He comes from a background of good athletes, so he's going to be missed terrible.
Oh yeah, the Markham name is very
very
synonymous
big
with Grundy football, for sure.
But to keep Canaan in your prayers too. Hope and pray he hasn't torn nothing, so he can play quarterback, because they need him as a quarterback.
They
for
need
sure.
him, They need all the kids.
Yeah.
You know,
we don't want to see no kid
like we've
get
talked
hurt.
about. You know, it's just the low numbers. You can't one player out. Just those are reaching everything. Yeah.
I just don't want to see no kid get hurt.
No, definitely not.
But that's all I've got on that Friday night. I'm just glad we got out of there without getting any, and I'm glad Hurley did as well.
Yeah.
And Twin Valley.
Yeah,
for sure. That's what I told Tommy. I said, I'm glad you got out of there without anybody getting hurt.
Yeah. So moving on to next week and everything, guys. Full schedule looks like every day. Got golf on Monday with the Willowbrook, all schools. Tuesday night, full slate of volleyball, all 4 schools. Hurley is at Richlands, Twin Valley is at Honaker, Council is at Twin Springs, and Grundy is at J.I. Burton. Every one of them's away.
Everybody's on the road.
Yeah, everybody's on the road. Wednesday night, cross country be at Council Park this week, all schools, of course, and volleyball. Grundy right back at it with Honaker this week, but this time at home.
It's going to be a barn burner.
Yeah, I'd like to go watch that.
Yeah, I think all 3 of us is going to try to maybe go to that.
I might have to go to that cross country, guys.
Yeah,
I have to go to that.
yeah.
Oh yeah, you get blackballed from home if you didn't go. With
Yeah, you're going to get me in trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we will hopefully definitely have a presence there with Buchanan County Sports. Hopefully me and Chris can make it over there. Thursday night, volleyball, Montview and at Hurley, Richlands at Twin Valley, Wise Christian at Council. And we've heard that apparently Grundy has got a game with East Ridge, but we're not sure exactly if it's
Home or away. We don't know yet.
But
we know we'll let somebody else know.
Yeah, we'll be sure to post it there. And then Friday night, all 3 county schools are at home for football.
Again.
Friday. Riverview at Hurley, Giles at Grundy, and Bland at Twin Valley. And as far as I know, the game is on Friday.
This could be an opportunity for all 3 county schools to get them a win.
Yes.
Very possible. Just knowing. I don't know a lot about Giles, to be honest with you.
I don't know
I've seen
where they're at right now as far as if they're up or.
I've got some video to watch. And that's all I can tell you. I haven't watched it yet. I'll watch it tonight. But as far as I know, that's all I can tell you about Giles. I don't know their record, or I just got some video.
Well, I did look at that. It's 1-1.
1-1.
Yeah, right now.
Okay.
I also like, before it slips my mind again, the Southern Gap Middle School team is playing tomorrow at Tazewell.
Yeah.
So want to get out and kind of support that and watch that. It's tomorrow evening.
Yeah.
I don't know much about Riverview this year either. You know much about Riverview?
I know what I hear.
Okay.
And I don't always take everybody else's word. Yeah, and there's not a lot that I've not found a lot anyway online as far as videos go.
Huddle.
Well, I've looked on some. Huddle's one of them things, and I told Ella this the other day, is that you don't take stats off Huddle.
No.
I mean, I've done that before, and you go back and you look, and it's way off.
Yeah.
So, but as far as video, VHS, you can go on there and get
you can watch it.
The delay. I mean, that might be an option.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what do you guys think about the action this week? As far as football goes, Bland and Twin Valley.
I'm going to take Twin Valley.
Which you've seen Bland in action.
I think Twin Valley can give them a win here. Like I say, if everybody's healthy, and I don't know their situation, but I think if everybody's healthy, that Twin Valley can give them a win.
I agree with that.
I think, like I say, I don't know a lot about Giles, but I'm not going to pick against a county school at home. I'm going to take Grundy, and I'm going to take Hurley.
I'll take Hurley, Grundy, and Twin Valley. I'll never pick against our county kids.
Yeah. That's why, I figure a lot of people would be like, well, why ain't they doing this week's picks or whatever? Well, I really wouldn't want to do that because I think that more than likely every week it's going to be hard for us to pick against our county schools.
So we can actually, like Tommy Krieger said, everybody could pick their last game of the season because he said Twin Valley or Hurley one's going to get at least one win.
Yeah, so we got to pick somebody there.
One win at least.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be definitely one that we could pick. But hopefully we can, as far as football, volleyball, cross country, hopefully we can try to get out this week and maybe have a presence at some of the events this week. And I definitely think, all the community should try to get out and support these kids at whether, like I said, it be volleyball, cross country, golf, or football and stuff. So, guys, do you got anything else?
I just want to say good luck to all our area schools in the county in whatever you're participating in this week. Good luck and go hard.
Yep.
Shine out. That's how you get on this podcast.
And stay healthy.
Stay healthy.
Yep.
Get her done.
Get her done.
That's right. All righty, we'll move on to the next segment. All righty, next up here, we've got the Player of the Week from last week. She was unable to join us last week, but Destany, and I'll get you to pronounce the last name for us.
Armendariz.
Armendariz. Okay, I was close.
You was close.
I was close. All righty, congratulations on being the Player of the Week last week.
Thank you.
Tim, you got some questions?
Oh, yeah. Destiny, you've always been a really good athlete, no matter what sport you played. But how did you first get started running cross country?
Oh, goodness. Honestly, it all started as a joke. We all were like, I hate running. And I was like, yeah, I don't like it either. But then I had a bunch of older girls that I looked up to that did it. And I was like, well, if they could do it, I want to do it too. So that's how I started.
Okay. What do you enjoy most about the sport?
Going out with the team after and getting food.
You know what I enjoy most about it?
What?
Is everybody cheers on everybody. You know, it doesn't mean what's on your chest as your school representative. Everybody cheers on everybody.
Yeah, always.
That's what I like. Who has been your biggest influence in your running career?
Jesse Looney, easily.
Yes. What does a typical week of training look like for you?
Oh, it just depends on the day, because sometimes I have morning basketball and then volleyball, but then when it comes down to it, I always have cross country right in between, and it's either sprint workouts or long distance runs.
How do you prepare mentally for a big race?
I try to either take a nap before, or if it's a really big race, I'll talk to a lot of my girls that are on the team with me, and they do wonders like calming me down.
What's the toughest workout you've done this season?
I haven't been able to make it to too many hard practices, but the 800 repeats, I had 4 of them, along with like 5 400s, and then like a mile cool down and warm up.
What's your favorite course to run and why?
Ooh. Oh gosh, I don't know if I have one. I think I'd like to say Oxbow, just because it's a huge lake and you can see a bunch of ducks and stuff.
Where's that at?
Oh goodness, I don't know. I'm really not for sure. I sleep on the way there. I'm not gonna lie. I just like it because of the lake.
Over there yet?
Yeah.
How do you push through when a race gets tough?
You hear the little middle school and JV always yelling for you, and I hear that, and it's just like an extra boost of energy.
How do you approach pacing during a race? Because you don't pace.
I don't pace. I first go start off the race. If it's just me, I try to get a huge lead. But if it's one of those heavy trace races where I have great competition, I try to find the quickest girl that I know I could stick with and stay with her till the end.
Okay, how would you describe your team's chemistry this year?
Strong, really strong. This is probably the strongest we've been in a little while. All of us have been getting super close. We also do a lot of team bonding out of school that people don't see.
What goals have you and your team set for this season?
PRs. Like, there is a good chance that we could go today, like, to state together. And honestly, if we keep PRing like we have been, then I see it happening.
That's good. What's the best part of being part of a cross-country team?
The best part is
Yes.
just having a family, just having a whole separate family.
Okay, what's your go-to meal before a race?
Now Lonnie's going to kill me. I never eat good. I never eat good after. So honestly, it's usually just like a pack of gummies and like a water.
Do you see yourself running in college or beyond that?
Yes, I do. I strongly do. There's been a couple people that's like, why would you want to do that? And I'm like, well, it's very calming once you get to a certain point.
If you could give advice to a middle schooler or a JV lady, what advice would you give them about starting to come out to run cross country?
It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard. The workouts are going to be rough, but it has to hurt for you to get better. And I know that sounds crazy, but honestly, once you get there, you're going to have a family standing behind you once you do have that final PR.
Okay, you got two great coaches, Coach Bain and Phil.
I do. They're amazing.
And they're great. They're great coaches.
They are.
If you play basketball and you run cross country, you run indoor track, you run outdoor track, what else you do? Is that about it?
Volleyball.
Volleyball.
I'll be doing tennis this year and maybe softball.
Oh gosh. So
2 spring sports.
Let's go on volleyball because this is how you was picked for the player of the week, volleyball and cross country. I mean,
yeah.
I got one more cross country question.
Okay.
Enid Sprance this past past Wednesday, who finished second to you?
It was my little sister.
And how far back was she? She wasn't very far.
She was only 2 seconds. And
that's
it was
right.
Scary.
She's a freshman.
She is a freshman.
So, do you push her during the week like that?
I do. Me and her push each other strongly, but I'm especially hard on her just because I know there's going to be a race that 2 seconds is going to be 2 seconds ahead of me.
Does she push you well too?
Strongly. She's literally the only reason why I kill myself in every single race.
I'm going to say that would be like the worst defeat.
2 seconds. Right? She's a freshman.
You don't want your little sister to beat you, do you?
You know,
no, I don't.
Another pack of gummies and she'll catch you.
Another pack of gummies?
Yeah, much slower down.
But hey, I'm so proud of you, Destany. I've watched you grow so much, and I've watched you how fast you've got. I've watched you on the volleyball court, and even indoor and outdoor track. You've done well for Grundy High School, and I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
There's nothing I can't not say but positive stuff about you, Destany. I'd love for you to go to college and run or play basketball or whatever you want to do. On that note, has anybody, are you looking to college to go and do sports, or what is your future?
I am looking to go and do sports in college just because I'm not ready to let that go yet. I've done sports ever since I was young, so it's like that's a piece of me that I'm not ready to let go yet.
Do you know which sport?
No, honestly, I don't.
Okay.
I want to do 2 sports in college because people say it's impossible, and I love doing the impossible.
Well, thank you. I'm so proud of you. These guys might have some questions for you.
Just touch on something you said about some of your friends think might be crazy that you want to run cross country in college. If you look at it from this aspect, that in all of the sports, your conditioning, your cardio, you have to run. Mm-hmm. With this, you're doing what you're going to be doing anyway to stay in shape.
Yeah.
So that's you don't have to do any extra.
No.
But I think just from watching you grow, from tiny to now, because I remember you. That's what I was telling the guy earlier, is that I remember you back in Little League basketball. I said, he didn't know me. I said, you must not have played Little League basketball. You remember me reffing or something. I said, because she's given me a bunch of mean looks in the past.
Yeah, probably so.
But, which I know your dad, I used to play ball film a little bit. But I think you're athletic enough to truly, and I don't say this lightly because there's not a whole lot of, when I look out right now in the region, you have kids that stand out. There's very few girls or boys that could pick up 2, 3 years, as you want to go 4, 5 sports, but can do it and be more than just competitive. You could actually excel at it. And I like I love the attitude is that you want to prove people wrong, that they say you can't do it. I've always been that show me kind of person, and that I love about your game. And just looking at some of your stats, in which Michael's got those, it's like crazy that you are so competitive in whatever you step on the court or the floor or whatever. And you mentioned you play football, and I'm sitting here going, don't ruin your chances at other stuff just to get hurt and try to prove a point.
Yeah.
But I love that attitude to say, okay, I'll show you.
Yeah, I love to prove people wrong. I love to say that people that can't do it, they can do it, as long as you put your mind to it as well.
Yeah, for sure. On the volleyball side of things, as we was talking to Ryleigh, off to a tremendous start on the season.
Yeah.
Big wins over Graham, Burton, Honaker, of course.
Yes, that
probably
felt good.
The top one there. And last week where you was named Player of the Week, listen at these totals, guys. 28 service points, 3 aces, 20 digs, 7 kills, and 30 assists overall. And
that's unheard of.
Yeah,
crazy.
And then it's even. And then this past week, against Honaker, 10 service points, 6 aces, 13 digs, 19 assists, 1 kill. I remember asking one of the guys, are they such thing as a triple-double in volleyball? And then, Graham, 14 service points, 4 aces, 17 digs, 26 assists, and 1 kill.
Read that back off again on the one.
The first, up here,
yeah,
10 service points, 6 aces, 13 digs, 19 assists, and 1 kill.
That's like a gauntlet. If you think, you really touched on every single aspect of the game.
That's right.
And then the
she
one
had
down
a hand
here,
in on it.
and then Graham, 14 service points, 4 aces, 17 digs, 26 assists, and 1 kill.
Wow.
I know that you and Ryleigh are standing out. We brought y'all in here, but it's not just that. When you look at the assists, somebody else is getting those kills.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Like, I could not have any of those stats if it wasn't for the great pass that people don't see from Claire or Cammy or Caitlin. Like, from anybody back row, you have that assist from their pass. You have that assist from that kill from Sophia, Leah, Michaela. Like, people don't see that, and like they should have crazy praise over that as well.
I think you just did that.
Yeah, that's definitely a wonderful thing that took this time where we're talking about you to mention some of your teammates and stuff, and to know that. Particularly in volleyball, you're nothing without the team.
No, my stats wouldn't even come from anything if it wasn't from the great pass, the great kill that they did with everything.
For sure.
Humbled.
The guys, you all got anything else?
I'm just so proud of her. Yeah. She's awesome.
It
doesn't mean what she does. Guys, what she does, sometimes she's up at 5:30 in the morning at a morning basketball practice, goes to school, gets off school, goes run cross country or volleyball. It flips sometimes. Sometimes volleyball's earlier, right after school. Sometimes it's later. But she always gets her cross country in. She always gets her volleyball practice in, and she's always working for her basketball.
Yeah,
that's a day routine for her.
Well, that's something that I noticed early on when you were younger. A lot younger, is that you just had a motor. Just like when kids get on the ball floor and they're running. And some kids will pick up quick fouls just, not knowing what they're doing. But the fouls you would pick up would be hustle plays, and any coach is not going to knock you, get mad at you or anything like that. If you're sprinting 90 feet to try to stop, draw a charge or something like that.
Yeah.
And you would make those kind of plays. And I knew early on, I remember telling some of the other refs and the other coaches and stuff, this girl's got athleticism. You just didn't know it. At that young age, you didn't realize how athletic you could be, and now it's showing.
She don't have the height that her daddy's got.
No,
she don't have the height from Gabe.
I
believe little sis got that.
She did. That's why she's 2 seconds behind me.
You got to run 4 steps to her 1.
Yeah.
We was mentioning, the getting up early and being in the gym and doing this and doing that and stuff, and it all comes from great work ethic, and I think it's something that me and Chris has seen recently in 2 of his podcasts with Ethan McClanahan and Ella. It's almost the same exact story with a lot of these athletes as far as the work ethics and also the school and just everything that a lot of these kids are involved in life.
But that goes back to the mindset. And I've had parents mention, that, when you're going to talk to my kid or interview my kid, and I'm not knocking any kid, is that you get notarized not by anything we do. You do that on your own accord.
Yeah.
Whether it's the paper will decide to put it in there or whatever, shouldn't matter. You put in the time, you put in the effort, you put in the work. You do it for yourself and your team.
Yeah.
The glory comes from that. This other stuff is just an added bonus for the time you put in.
Exactly.
Yep, for sure. But we really appreciate you joining us today. We're sorry we couldn't work things out there last week, but that's understandable. Family time is very important.
Yeah, I try to get as much as I
know
can.
y'all was coming back from a trip.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Myrtle Beach.
Yeah, it was a good break after that last race.
Yeah, for sure. But like I said, we appreciate you coming. Congratulations on all your success so far, and good luck the rest of the year. All right, next up, we've got the Girls Player of the Week, Ryleigh Church, here with us. Ryleigh, appreciate you joining us today.
Thank you.
All right, Tim.
Ryleigh, you're a senior at Grundy High School this year and doing a great job on the volleyball court. Of course, it's just now volleyball. Your other love is softball.
Yes. Yeah.
So you do have another love, and that's one good thing. I got some questions, if you don't mind answering me some questions. How did you first start playing volleyball?
I started in the 6th grade. I just decided I wanted to play. I had a middle school team, so that's kind of where I started.
Okay. What do you enjoy most about the sport?
Just getting to play with my friends, playing on a team all together.
Okay. Who has been your biggest influencer or role model in volleyball?
I mean, role model. I looked up to the seniors my freshman year a lot, like Jesse, Looney, and then they were really good. Tried to watch them and see how they played. It really helped.
It's understandable.
Okay. What has been the highlight of this season so far? I know what you're going to say, but probably beating Honaker.
Yes. Beating Honaker and Graham.
Honaker and Graham.
Yeah.
So that's
Twice on the Graham.
That's great. I know you have a big matchup this week with Honaker.
Yeah.
Yes, we play Honaker and Burton.
Yeah. How would you describe your team's chemistry on and off the court?
Oh, we're all really good friends. We've played together for 3 years now, so we all play really good together.
What goals has your team set for the season, and how are you working towards them?
We really want to compete in the region and win our first region game, and then hopefully go on to the championship.
Okay. We had Coach Lester on our show last episode, and that's
It's hard to get used to saying that.
yeah, Coach Lester.
Yeah.
I'm used to Coach, but she's married now, so we got to go Coach Lester.
Yeah.
She always talked about you girls, how you communicate on and off the court. I said, well, they're always girls are going to be hollering and screaming no matter what.
Yeah.
What position do you play, and what do you enjoy about playing that position? If they are a certain position you like playing, you might not play just one position.
I am an outside hitter and a DS, a defensive specialist, so I play all the way around. I really enjoy hitting, but I like passing too. I can't really pick one.
What's the most challenging part of your role on the court? What do you think that your weakness is?
Just me, or like as a team?
Yeah, just you.
I'm not really sure.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's good. That's good. How do you mentally prepare for a big match, like against Honaker or somebody?
I just try and not get in my head. Just tell myself, if I do something bad, just shake it off.
There you go. Next point, right?
Yeah.
That's what Coach Lester said. Next point. Just get with next point.
Yep.
What personal goals have you set that you've been working on in the past? So last year there's something that you need to work on, and you worked on it, and have you improved on it this year?
Yeah, I've tried to focus on being more accurate with how I get points and just in general on the court.
Okay. What's been your favorite memory from playing volleyball?
Let's see, probably my freshman year when we beat Honaker in the BDD championship. That was a really good game.
How do you handle pressure in a close game? Of course, you ain't had many close games.
I just tell myself in my head, like, stay focused. Don't worry about things. Just,
What do you like to do outside of volleyball? This is something like personal. Just what's your enjoyment outside of volleyball?
I just like hanging out with my friends and family and doing stuff like that.
How do you balance school life and sports? Because, school is different. Then you want a life in the side of it, and then you want to play sports.
Yeah.
How do you balance all three?
I just make time for all sports and other stuff. Try not to focus too much on one thing.
Do you see a future for you in volleyball, college, or anything?
I've thought about it, but I'm not really sure if I want to continue it in college. I'm still thinking about it.
You're freshman, you don't have no freshmen on the team because they're on JV. If you could talk to one freshman, what advice would you give her?
Don't give up and be patient with, playing time and all that stuff like that. And don't get down on yourself, because if you do that, then there goes the game.
Yeah, you can get down on yourself quick in volleyball.
Especially about playing time too.
Yeah, playing time.
A lot of people, you've seen a lot of kids just give up on a sport because they didn't think the playing time was coming, but it's just everything comes in time.
Did you become a starter as soon as you came from the JV to the varsity, or did it kind of just transition?
I didn't start, but I did play front row my freshman year, but I didn't play all the way around.
Because you're so tall.
Well, kind of tall.
Yeah, that's on a question I have, Chris, if you want to ask her some more. I'm thankful for you, Ryleigh. I've watched you grown up. I've known you ever since you was a little bitty girl. Now you've grown up to be a senior. I'm very proud of you.
Thank you.
And you're representing Grundy very well in volleyball.
Thank you.
And I can't wait to see you on the softball field.
Yeah, that's the next question is that we've been asking several kids, if you had to pick a sport and that, other than volleyball, because this is the season, but if you had to pick another sport and say, okay, I think I can push myself to go to college doing that, would it just be softball?
Yes.
Because I have kept up with your softball since you've been knee high, because your dad posts all these videos, front yard row, kind of deal, which I love, to see him out there. It reminds me of a lot of stuff that I used to do with my kids. But from the volleyball aspect of it, you all bring an excitement, especially to us, that we don't normally get to see in this area. When we saw, especially when I saw y'all beat Honaker, I was extremely happy for it, because I know how hard those schools work extremely hard, to be competitive as well. But just looking at what some of your numbers were, the 11 kills were amazing. That was really putting up some good numbers against a good quality defensive line there.
Yeah.
And like I say, I've seen you. I didn't get to see a whole lot in JV, but when you come over and you play Hurley, I'd watch a game here and there. But I could see the progress each year to where you are now. So it's no surprise that you're sitting here, to any of us anyway, that have watched you progress through the years. But as far as playing against a certain style, because every volleyball team has a certain style. Some like when they spike, they'll come from the side. Some straight on, depending on what versatile player they have. Honaker seems to always attack from the sides more often than they do straight down the middle. Is that where you seem to maybe defend the best?
Yes, it just depends on who's hitting and where they're hitting. You just have to read where they are going to hit, and we've really worked on that through the years too. So it's just the better teams, the more teams we play, the better we get.
The read and react.
Yeah.
Knowing you got to know your role. You got to every one of you. It seems like you're just buying into what Hannah's trying to get across to y'all, and that's all any coach can hope for, is to have a game plan and hope that y'all can put it together while you're on the floor. Because I've always said that you stop coaching the moment that the whistle or the horn or the buzzer, whatever sounds, and you just become a game manager. The kids have to do their thing. So it looks like, and it sounds like, you're all doing what she's asking you to do in about any way you can do it. How many players do y'all have right now in your roster? Do you know?
We have 10, I believe.
So it's pretty good rotation in and out.
Yes.
Shouldn't be no complaining about too much playing time.
No.
So
no, that's about a good number, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a good round number for
10
that.
ladies.
You've got 2 big games coming up, Honaker and Burton. How's that work? Y'all doing the same? I mean, it's y'all playing like both back to back, or how do you doing that?
We will go to Burton Tuesday and play, and then we will play Honaker home Wednesday. So
back to back.
Yes, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, it's recently. Oh no, it's Twin Valley. I saw. Okay, I got looked at. I said that y'all playing back to back there. That's the same. I thought it might have been like a double header. I said I've never seen that happen before.
No.
Okay, I got you.
It's multiple. Yeah.
So right now, Honaker. Yeah, I see it there now. I think I saw Honaker still yet leading their district over there in wins. if I saw it right. So that's a huge win for you all.
Yes.
How do y'all see it right now in the region? Have you looked?
I know that Chilhowie is a really big opponent or competitor right now, which I think will play, hopefully, a team from the Cumberland this year if we make it to, first round of region. So hasn't really been a lot of games to look at yet.
Basically, you're focused on it here and now. And so until it gets.
Taking it game by
how many
game.
games have y'all played so far? Matches?
4.
4. So you're early on. So probably another 4 before you really get a feel of what's going on.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations, and like Tim said, we are happy that you're here.
Thank you.
And I hope you continue success. And when we see these service points and kills and all this,
14 digs in both games.
Digs, that's huge.
14 in both.
14 digs. That's awesome.
Both games.
That's what I call a floor sponge. You're there soaking it up.
Yep.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's a good way to put that. Floor sponge. You're there soaking it up.
Yep.
I like that, Chris. That's pretty good. But thank you so much, Ryleigh. We're very proud of you.
Thank you.
And keep it going, because big things are going to have to come out of you guys. Go to regions, and let's show them that we still can play.
Yes.
Yep. But congratulations on being the Girls Player of the Week, and we appreciate you joining us today.
Thank you.
Best of luck next week and the rest of the season.
Thank you.
Okay, next up here we've got Brody Ford from the Grundy golf team. Brody had a great week last week. Was a medalist, I understand, right?
Yeah.
And shot 39. Very impressive.
Tied. He tied with Mason.
Yeah.
So that's impressive, Brody.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
How long you been golfing?
I started my freshman year, and I just it's probably my favorite sport that I've played. It's just, there's not as much stress on you as anything else. So.
Was they a previous background, or did you just kind of start it then?
My uncle played a little bit, and so then Dad got into it, and I just kind of went off them.
Okay. I was getting ready to say, how'd you get to start playing golf? So you just answered the first question.
Yeah.
So that's pretty impressive.
Have you medaled before, or is this your first time?
I medaled last week over at Gary, West Virginia. Actually beat Mason by 1 stroke.
Wow, that's great.
Shot a 34 there.
Is the Gary course, is that a par 3 course, or what is that?
It's a smaller course. There's no par 5s. It's all par 3s and par 4s.
Okay, that's what I was thinking about. Okay.
What do you enjoy most about golf compared to other sports? First of all, what other sports you play? Let's ask that.
I wrestle and I play baseball.
Okay. So you golf, you wrestle, and you play baseball. So what do you enjoy about golf compared to the other sports?
Well, I just find it more fun in general because there's not a lot of stress on you compared to wrestling, and which baseball, it's kind of the same. There ain't as much stress on you because it's a team sport. Which wrestling, it's you and only you, basically.
What part of the game do you feel the strongest right now of golf? On your golf course, what's part of your game that you're strongest?
My putting has been really good the last couple weeks, and that's really helped me.
That's what you need in golf. I mean, what part are you working hardest to improve? So last year, let's say you lacked something last year off the golf. What did you work on during the summer or when you practiced to improve on something?
I really just tried to improve on not trying to kill the ball. Like I was swinging way too hard, and it was making me inconsistent. So once I slowed down my swing, everything started going a lot straighter. So
that's that baseball mentality, though.
Yeah.
You think you walk up to the plate and do the same thing with a golf ball, and that's when you shank it.
Yeah.
So there's something
Every
I didn't
time.
know. So you don't get up there and literally just try to
You don't kill it.
absolutely kill it.
No.
It's
no.
about
Happy Gilmore it.
No
right?
Happy
Okay.
Gilmore.
Yeah.
It's about power, but it's not so much about
The
quickness.
strength,
It's
yeah.
the speed where it's at, the club speed. That's where it's
The
all at.
technique too.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
How do you stay focused during a long round? Saying you just hit a ball, man, you messed up. How do you stay focused, try to make that up?
Sometimes it's hard, but here recently, I've just been trying to focus on the one shot that's ahead of it. See, like if I hit a bad shot, I've been trying to focus on trying to make a recovery shot. Be in better placement.
Do you have a favorite club in your bag?
Yeah, my 7-iron.
Why?
I don't know. It's just always been my favorite club.
You go to.
Yeah.
The most versatile club they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the most challenging course you've ever played?
So I'd played the Virginian, which I liked it, but here recently we played Raven Rock, and that's the first time I'd ever played it.
It's a nice course.
And I struggled there, so I think that would probably be my most difficult course I've played in a while.
How do you handle pressure when you're standing over an important putt?
Well, here recently, I've been aiming at a spot before the hole, and it's been helping me just make sure I get through the ball, make sure it follows.
Well, that's preparation, right?
Yeah.
You're preparing.
You read the greens pretty good, or do you have a hard time on something like for me over at Willowbrook was always hard for me to read that green, especially up on 2, the way that lays, because it doesn't look like it, but it's the backside has got a little bit of a belly in it.
Yeah, which it all depends on pin placement for me here recently, because like on 7, if the pin is in the back of the green up on the top level, it's a little bit of a harder shot from down bottom. But if it's on the front, you want to be on the front side, so you're all putting uphill. So it's just depends on pin placement, really.
What's been your most memorable shot or round so far? What's your best shot that you can think of?
Any hole-in-ones?
No, actually, I came real close to a hole-in-one the other day on hole 4. It landed about 3 foot away from the hole. Man. So I ended up with a birdie there. That was probably a pretty good one there.
What course was that?
At Willowbrook.
Do you have any pre-round rituals?
Not really.
Routines or anything? You just do the same thing?
It's just, I don't ever practice putting before the round. I don't, it's like even in wrestling, I don't practice one thing before I wrestle. It just gets more in my head.
How do you mentally recover after a tough hole?
I just try to focus on the tee shot on the next hole, because if I have a bad, say it's my bad tee shot on the last hole that messes me up, I just make sure I try to focus on those shots on the next hole.
What's your favorite golf memory with teammates, friends, or family?
Well, last year we were playing our practice round for region at can't remember the course now, but we were playing, and actually Brody Deal, he went to Happy Gilmore's swing his 7-iron and broke it, and the club head had actually went farther than the ball, so he had to use Jordan Harden's 7-iron the next day.
What goals have you set for yourself this season of golf?
I'm just trying to keep my strokes keep going lower and lower. It's just.
Do you see yourself playing golf in college, or is that something you even entertained yet?
Well, I thought about it there for a while, but I'm not really focusing on any sports in college to try to go to. So,
what advice would you give a young golfer just starting, saying a freshman? What advice would you give them?
Try to stay calm and make sure that you're committing on your swings.
All right, you're a golfer, you're a wrestler, and you're a baseball player.
Yeah.
Are there any other sport besides them 3 that you would want to play?
Give us a Graham Pittman answer here.
Yeah.
He said hockey.
It can be anything.
Well, actually, you mentioned hockey right there. I think I would like to try hockey.
Yeah, that's exactly what Graham Pittman said.
Yeah. It looks fun to watch.
It's a Happy Gilmore.
Happy Gilmore coming out. I'm so proud of you. Of course, I say this to everybody. but I'm glad you came to Grundy.
Yeah.
I'm glad you came to wrestle for sure and play baseball. And I didn't know you was in golf until last year.
Yeah.
You know, I've heard people talking about you. And I think you're doing really well with the golf team and awesome with the wrestling. I mean, that's why you came to Grundy to wrestle.
Yeah.
And everybody knows that. Then on the other side of it, you're a good baseball player.
Yeah.
You know, so I've heard Jordan Harden talk about you. What good of a swing you had, what good of a kid you are. Of course, you're not no kid, you're a good young man now. So have you even entertained any college offers or talks or anything?
I've talked to a couple places for wrestling, but I don't plan on wrestling in college. It's just something I don't really want to do.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot to keep up with. That conditioning is extremely hard, as you know.
Yeah, and plus it'd be hard to maintain wrestling and the school at the same time.
Yeah,
which it is in high school too.
That's one thing about the golf. There's not much conditioning to be done.
Yeah.
But
You can look at John Daly, and you can tell that.
yeah, that's all I have. I just want to thank you for representing Grundy Golf, Grundy Wrestling, and Grundy Baseball.
The whole team's been very impressive this year. This is actually the third one we've had on this year. Quite a group there. Chris, do you got anything?
Is 39 your best overall that you've had since you've been?
39 is my best at Willowbrook. And then over there at Gary, 34 was my best.
That's pretty impressive.
And what year did you start playing?
I started playing my freshman year.
Freshman year, and you came over to Grundy. What year was that?
I came over to Grundy to wrestle in the 5th grade because it was.
So, you've been here. So
I've been here a long time.
Yeah.
Because I came over, it was a lot of traveling,
Mm-hmm.
so it's easier for me to be at Grundy, so I could just ride with somebody else to practice.
Mm-hmm.
That whole mindset of wrestling, I was fortunate enough to get to do it for 1 year, but the mindset of wrestling, when you wrestle, that's all you can think about.
Yeah.
You live, breathe, you eat every second of that season. That's it. If you want to be competitive.
Yeah.
And I overheard you tell Tim that you placed second last year in the state.
Yeah.
So you know failure. You know what it takes to try to get back to that point.
Yeah.
You know, golf's no different. You know, you medaled, but to be able to place in the region, that would be something special.
Yeah. I would really like to place in region this year.
We'd like to see you there.
Yeah, for sure.
Just keep working hard at it, and you know, I don't know what a lot of kids like when they first start playing, and they think the long ball's where it's at, and then you realize it's not.
It's all short game.
That's
where you save your strokes.
So don't go spend a big bunch of money on a driver. It's not.
Yeah.
It's sort of useless, you know, unless you can just actually go to a par 4 and land on a green each hit, which we don't have too many of those kids around here. But I appreciate you being here, and congratulations. Hope to see you here again this year, maybe for 2-3 more sports.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, for sure. We appreciate you being on today, and best of luck the rest of the season and with wrestling and baseball later on.
All right. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Don't say that.
We are joined here today by Coach Mark Hackney, a class of 1983 graduate, a member of the 1982 undefeated team, and also was the coach of the 92 district championship team for Hurley. Coach, appreciate you joining us today.
No problem.
All right, Chris.
Pleasure.
You got some questions?
Oh, well, we was going to touch on a
Yeah.
couple seasons, the 82 and the 92 seasons. We'll start with the 92. You know, back when I was in high school, Randy Justice had the program. They was pretty much struggling year after year. And with the same kids, you basically took within a year and turned the program back into what it was in 92. Because I think Randy went 0-10, and then the next year you won one game, but then took off after that. When you look at that roster, why do you think that roster didn't click right away?
I don't know. I think it was just moving some kids to the right place. You know, making it mandatory to be in a weight room. It's just changes. One coach philosophy is this, one coach philosophy is that, and sometimes it's, it just takes a little bit of change to get things on the right track.
Yeah.
Well, that roster, that's what I've been talking to a lot of people about. I'm from Hurley, and it sounds like I'm being partial, but I watch the programs, each year getting better, and I've seen it decline. But for any program, I don't care if you're going to win, you got to have athletes.
You got to have athletes. Sometimes you have to make athletes. If you're at a right school, you have to go in the halls. You have to go in the cafeterias. You have to go in the classroom. You got to go where you got to go and say, hey, come try this. You might like it. If you don't like it, you can always leave.
Well, that's one thing I always respected about you is that you're old school. You get to the point. You don't care to hurt their feelings. If they were being lazy, you weren't going to pat them on the back and say it's going to be all right. You explicitly would get up in their grill.
Yeah.
You let them know it. And the kids that stand in the hallway that should have been playing football or a sport, you let them know about it. Quit being lazy. Get out there and do something.
Yeah, it's not like that. In our area, there was a lot for kids to do anyway. So instead of going home and kicking back on the couch or, playing video games, come out and try it.
I was looking. I went back actually and watched the playoff game between you all and Powell Valley. I know it's a bitter taste. It has to be in your mouth. Same thing with the 82. The same school. It's just like again,
deja vu all over.
Almost exactly the same.
Almost.
But I was looking at this, Mark, and 15-6. Really, it should have been because that last 2 points was a given.
Yeah. And then we blew our chances right down there before halftime.
1 yard line
penalty set us back, and take 3 plays out of the ball game, we might have been a state champion.
Well, I looked at going back and looking at some of Powell Valley's games they played. First game of the season, they played Richlands and beat them. So right away, they're going to be a contender thinking, okay, if they can beat Richlands and Richlands the favor, Powell Valley's going to, and here you all really should have beat them.
We outplayed Powell Valley. I thought we outplayed Powell Valley. I went back and watched it several times. And as I said, a call here, a play there, a penalty this or that.
I think y'all had, 4 turnovers?
We probably had 4 turnovers. It's been a while.
It's 4 or 5, I remember. The crucial one was right at the goal line.
The crucial one was on the 1 yard line when we was going in. That was a crucial one.
And I remember being there at the game. Man, and it's so similar again to the 82. Just a sloppy field, everything so eerie similar.
Yeah.
The field at that point had been a lot of games played on it. Going into that game, you already had a game plan. I'd say you type of coaches, you're going to have to prove me wrong for me to stop doing what I do.
Yeah, I wasn't going. I changed a little bit at halftime. They were sort of stopping us around the ends. They were stopping more off tackle. They had set more wide, so I thought we might could hit them in the middle, and we actually did. When started running Tomboy a lot more, Stephen Duty, started getting into more action instead. They were more focused on Tommy A. And I thought
Tomboy really stood out that game.
Tomboy really, after we went to him after halftime, he really stood out that game. He had a heck of a game.
Which really the only 2, well, ain't really but one really big yardage that was the second score they had, and that was like a 40-yard run. And it wasn't that your guys wasn't in position. They just couldn't get to him because of the field.
Couldn't get to him because it seemed to hinder us actually more than I thought it did them because of the field position that we stayed in the end of the end zone under the cliff. We stayed in that area more than they did.
Did it surprise you that they came out and was sort of passing more than what they normally did?
I don't think they thought they could run on us. Which now Phil was a heck of a coach, and he was going to do Phil, but a lot of respect for him for what he did at Powell Valley. Nothing surprised me that they did.
It was like there in the second quarter, y'all exchanged turnovers back to back, you know, they had won, y'all had won, and then it's like, and then it's sort of like the grudge match. Nobody was given an inch.
Yep.
And it stayed like that pretty much until that 40-yard run.
It did. I don't. It was a heck of a ball game. One of the biggest crowds I've saw, you know, at Hurley. But it was just a hard-nosed, hard-knocking ball game, and I figured that they would go on and win the state, and they did.
But, you know, you went in down just 7-0.
Yeah,
and probably could have went in very easily, been up 8-7.
Could have been up 8-7. Could have been down 7-6. I mean, it was there.
I mean, it was one of those games that you felt bad for the kids, coaches, and as a community, because I think pretty much everybody that was a sports fan really thought we'd win it that year. I really think I don't think it was a doubt in anybody's mind.
There was a lot of confidence. I know the coaches, coaching staff, players, community, everywhere you went. You know, we had high hopes. You know, just fell short.
You know what? I looked up some of their players on that roster, and I'll be honest with you, I can't remember these guys. Their main guy was a Bishop guy, Greg Bishop, 1,400 yards that year.
Bishop was he was a heck of a ball player.
They had Shane Tucker, 1,100 yards. I think he was the kid that actually had the 40-yard run.
I'm not for sure.
Number 20.
I can't remember for sure. I thought that was Bishop.
I was going by the numbers. It may have been. I don't know.
It may not have been. Like I say, it's been 33 years. It's been a minute, you know, since we did this.
I remember going back and looking at time possession, and you all, I mean, time possession was overwhelming in Hurley's favor, and the yardage for the biggest part was also. But it was that you all were getting horrible field position.
We did, and that punter. I thought that and you know, actually, like I said, deja vu over again. The '82 team. The punter killed us. I think his name was Phillips. And then the punter for this team in '92, he did the same thing. I mean, they just kept us pinned all night, and what drives we had were long ones.
I mean, I remember watching it and thinking, and Kyle Brown was your all's return guy, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, there was only 2 times that he got to return for any kind of yardage.
Yeah.
The rest of the time, he'd just have to either call a fair catch, get out of the way, or just catch it where it was
at. Like I say, the kid was good that was punting for them that year, and ball placement, and his leg was.
But you know, y'all didn't have a slouch in John Justice. John could punt the ball.
John could punt the ball. John was erratic at times, but John could punt the ball.
Yeah, John, when he was on his game, could hang the ball as good or better than anybody in the area.
If he didn't panic, John was young. John, you know, but he did a great job for us all year. Good defensive end too.
The comparisons I saw might be a lot different than what you would explain, but the biggest thing was the defense. The comparison in defense, the way you all in '82 would just shut people out and let your defense become your offense.
That '82 team was just 19 hard-nosed, just nothing else to do but play ball. We lived it, we breathed it, and you know, they wasn't one on that team that wouldn't rock you. I mean, at any given time, anything could go on.
Yeah, you all played the schedule that you all played back then was a lot of. The distance in traveling was something else. You know, your Nortons and places like that was never an easy drive either way.
No, the Thomas Walker trips. You know, I mean, we had some. We actually did, and we played Meadowbridge that had won the state championship in the state of West Virginia.
Yeah, it was
that
your fourth game of the year.
Yeah,
that was the first one to score on us.
Yeah, it was the first one to score on us, and. Now that was, we played a schedule that year.
I was looking up at your all's '82 team, and which Tommy Blankenship, he was over for a long time, coached you boys, and you know, Tommy, I think that's probably where you got a lot of your hard-nosed antics from, was Tommy was the same way.
Tommy was. Coach Johnson was a big influence. Both coaches was a big influence on me as far as how to, conduct a team and organization and stuff like that. And then, I know a lot of coaches think you can treat all kids the same. I think a little different. I think some kids you might be able to kick in the butt. Some you may have to put an arm around and say, hey, we need to do this, we need to do that. I don't think you can treat, even though you're going to be fair to all kids, I don't think you can treat all kids the same because they won't react to say criticism. You may be able to get in one kid's face.
Yeah.
The other one, you might better grab him and hug him and say, hey, you can do better than this, because if you get in his face, he's going to lay down and quit on you.
Yeah,
I always felt that.
You all done touched on it, but that defense was so good that it took 6 games. I mean, in 6 games, there was only one time that you got scored on it, 6 points.
And that was by a state champion.
And in the 7th game, y'all had Gordon score 6 points. I mean, all season long, if you combined the total scores, I think it was like 39 total points, and 14 of them was going to be.
Gordon run a kickoff back. They didn't score on defense.
So you see what I'm saying? That's the kind of defense y'all had, and then 7 shutouts.
Yeah, that actually was my fault that they run a kickoff back. I was told not to go down the field. You know how you got a flagger or a safety to stay back and do this. Tommy, don't be down the field, Mark. Don't be down the field. Well, Mark, he said, I'm going to get in on this action. Well, needless to say, I messed up. They run a kickoff back.
You want some of that hitting action,
I thought everybody else was getting in. I might as well get some.
You want your dose of it, yeah.
That's
I want to get some.
Give me some.
The 14-0 loss y'all had in 82, though, to Powell Valley.
Scoreless until a minute and something left in the 3rd quarter, and we just, the defensive backs and everybody, they just sucked up on a pass play, and they hit a long one on us. And then the other one, it should have probably been 7-0. The other one come with the last few minutes of the ball game when we was trying to throw a halfback pass back to me down the sideline, and they ended up intercepting and getting it. I don't know, was down there close. Best I can remember, it was inside the 10 or somewhere around the 10.
I looked at, and it's just, if you think about in a game in the 80s, and it's still similar, but back then, you was almost, every play was going to be a run.
Yeah.
And you all still averaged 30 points a ball game.
Yeah. We threw the ball quite a bit, too. More than what if you'll go back and look at the clippings and whatever, we threw the ball quite a bit too. We didn't have to throw the ball, but we threw the ball normally after we got up, just for when we got into the playoffs. We thought we was going to be in the playoffs because we went 9-1 the year before that. My junior year, we went 9-1. So. Like my last 2 years, we were 20-2 or 21-2, something like that.
The 81 season, the 10-6
we went
loss.
9-1 and lost 10-6 on a halfback pass at Gordon, and
well, that was on the 92 team. Actually, that was the interception that Stevie had was on a halfback option, wasn't it? And I went back and looked at it, and I think it was going to, and it ended up getting intercepted in the end zone. He run it out.
Oh, yes, it was. We got the best that I can remember. We was on the 1. I went to a pair. I was just going to try to punch it in off tackle, and we ended up snapping the ball at the time of a motion. So we snapped the ball. We ended up fumbling the ball and getting on it. So they declined the penalty, which put us back around the 8-yard line, and it made it 4th down. So we was that far out, and I thought, maybe the halfback pass would go, and we tried a halfback pass to the end zone. They picked it off, and, we tackled them, went in at halftime.
She already didn't have. I mean, guess Wesley Schaefer did a little kicking for you all back then, so he probably could have maybe kicked it. But you still get thinking,
well,
you know, we can't score. How you going? 3 points ain't gonna do us no good.
Well, my actual thinking down there was these field conditions, and every time we was moving to do anything, that would his plant foot be firm enough to kick the field goal? Because we discussed it actually on the sideline.
Well, John had done. I was watching the video. He done after he punted the ball a few times. He
fell down.
Each time he'd punt, he'd end up on his back.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was so you know, it was so slick and everything. It was, and you know, sometimes you make bad calls. Sometimes you wished you'd have did this, but you go back and look at it. 3 points still wouldn't have won me the ball game.
Exactly. Just from that, you know, perspective, I looked back and was trying to find, like I said, a bunch of the stats for the 82, and I really couldn't find nothing. I guess where it's been so many years, a lot of it stuff gets wiped out of the database. But a lot of it, you know, I found on the 92 teams, there was I mean, I look back and I look at your athletes on there that you really don't hear a lot of it. I've said this about Jeff Weinig. Jeff Weinig is one of the craziest athletes that people probably don't really know a whole lot about, that he lived. It can really, football was his sport. If there was ever anybody born to play football, Jeff Weinig was that guy.
Jeff was on the 91 time. Jeff was there when I come, and he ended up calming down. The kid had been beat up so bad, and he was so hyper that to calm him down that he could throw the ball. Jeff improved tremendously. He was a heck of an athlete. Good. I mean, all the way around. He really could have been a standout.
Yeah, I think that having the, as you said, having the right coach fit each player's individual, you know, assessment, because Jeff wasn't one of these guys that was going to drop back in the pocket and sling it 60 yards. You know, he could give you some slants and some dump offs, things, you know, 20 yards, but he threw the same whether it was 20 yards or 50 yards. It was the same velocity.
If he, once we got him out of his feet movement, once his feet got set and he started throwing the ball, Jeff improved so much throughout the year that he really did a great job. I
would like to seen him, if he could have held back, of course, but I would like to seen him on that 92 team, just on the defensive side of it, because, man, he would chill you when he hit you. Yeah, he was good on both sides of the ball, and he sure would have helped that team. You know, you had some good receivers, Kyle, Kevin. Had some good receivers. You had, which I think majority of that team was, in some way or another, was Ken somehow or another, you know, Kyle, Tomboy, all them boys. Seemed like they had some family honor. Benji Bailey and Allen, you know, all these boys was tied together somehow. So they were a close-knit bunch. They were a close-knit bunch. They'd played Little League, and they'd played I coached those kids in JV, and they went undefeated. You know, so I had coached, because I'd come back from Emory and had coached the JV. And so I had those kids before, the biggest part of them. And I knew who they were and what they were capable of. But then, you know, kids change from their 9th grade year to their junior year. You know, they'll take growth spurts. Some of them will speed up, some of them will slow down, some of them will stay the same. You know, you never know what you're going to get with younger kids. Yeah, they were all kids. It was a good group of kids. It really was.
You also had a lot of them in an '86 Little League team too, didn't you?
I did. I did. Had some of them. No, you know, going back and trying to remember what years I coached the Little League, but I did have a group of the Little League that turned out to be, you know, really good kids.
Yeah, I know it looks like I got in a newspaper article where I guess they was 5-0 that year, and their final win brought the winning streak to 17 over 4 seasons.
Yeah.
You've coached, I mean, different leagues, Little League. You coached in the West Virginia League a few years. Back when my son played in that, they were a little hicky, but you didn't mind that.
I didn't care.
You were going to take whoever over. I'm going to wear them out.
We went the first year we were in that league. I think we lost 3 games or something, and they run it. They run it like a college. I mean, they will be on press boxes. They'll be in bleachers with headphones, and me, I just walked the sideline. You know, I didn't see any need in all that in this little league. But anyway, the next year we went over there. After the first game, I remember they pulled us into a meeting, and they said we're going to have a birth certificate.
I remember that.
And we're going to have a picture of the kid, the birth certificate. We're going to have this and that. And he laid a couple out there, and one of them was my son, Cade. He said, look, this number 7 right here, he said, no way this kid's 13 or 12 or whatever he was. I can't remember. And I sat there for a minute. I said, well, I don't know about the rest of the kids. I said, they aren't mine. But I said, I can tell you that this one here is legit. And he said, now, how would you know that, Coach? I said, he's mine. And, you know, and then there was like a hush come over, the room. And but, yeah, they went. I don't even know how many games we won that year, but they won the championship in that. I was proud of that bunch. They tried hard, and they did a great job. And
what's odd about that is y'all wore the throwback colors.
Yes, we did. We wore the yellow and black.
I've got pictures somewhere of Alex in his uniform, and Morgan, my daughter, she cheered.
She cheerlead, yeah.
And you had Cade and all them boys out there, and I remember thinking when the first time I seen this Southern Gap uniform, I said, man, it's just like day and night. They look so much alike.
That was the first thing I thought of when I saw the colors that was put on Facebook. I flipped through it, every once in a while I saw the colors and everything. And I said, well, they went back, I said, we left it, then we went back to it. Now the new school's going to the black and gold or whatever you want to.
Was Friday night, was that the first time you got to see most of those players that you hadn't seen since 92?
I had saw Kevin a few times, and Tomboy, and Kyle once in a while, but most of them hadn't saw in 30 years.
I told Kyle, I said, Kyle, you're probably the only one of these boys that still wears jersey. He looks the same now as he did when he graduated.
I told Stevie Duty, I said, you're going to make sure someone wore that 20. And he had his wife, had his jersey on. I said, you're going to make sure someone wore that 20.
Yeah, I'd say I see most of them, like Tomboy. He don't look like he's, aged a whole lot. Still looks about the same build, whatever. But once they get a little age on them, they move off. That's the first time I'd seen Steve in probably 15 years.
I hadn't saw Stevie since he left here. It's been 30 years since I'd saw Stevie, and we were talking about it. I was thinking, coming in from Lexington, I said, has it been 33 years? I was just running through my mind. I said, 92. I said, wow. It seems like yesterday. I don't know how time's getting away from all of us, but it is. And I said, it seems like yesterday, but it's been 33 years.
Flies by.
Yeah, I mean,
it makes it harder. Like for me, I remember being there at the game, standing behind the fence line, and just walking each play, walking down. My dad came down this morning, and I was going back over the video and was watching through some of the video. And I was telling Dad, and actually you could see one little part of it there as the cameraman's going by where I was standing, and I said, well, that's me right there. And he said, well, you ought to remember. I said, Dad, he's 80 years old. Remember that. I can't do it.
Yes.
I remember being there and all the conditions and some of the plays, but, for the players, I'm sure that they can pretty much go through every down almost. When you kind of like your 82 team, you remember, so many details, a thing, especially the what could I have done differently deal.
That's the thing that gets you. And, even you'll win a big game. Or at least if I won a big game or I won a game I wasn't or we weren't supposed to win, even on the way to the house, I would be thinking, I should have done this in this situation, or should I? Maybe we should have scored 2 more times if I hadn't have done it. And I guess if you're a coach, you always do that. And then you'll even I think about things from both games that, you know, should I have done this or should I have done that? But I guess everybody does that.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. But I say some of the funnest years I can remember watching football was during the times that you coached early on, which what really, I think, rejuvenated, you know, the Hurley football. You know, I don't know that we've ever been, I know some people want to argue that Hurley's been a powerhouse. No, I think we've always had players that's had grit to them. But I think you rejuvenated your style of play and your coaching to want, other players wanted to start playing again.
Well, you know, if they do not have interest in it, you have to figure out a way to get them interested. I know I have one kid, and I said, we was in the hallway, and I said, why don't you come out and play ball for me? And he said, Coach, I've never played no football. I said, he said, I don't know about this hitting, about this. I said, I'll tell you what, come out. You don't have to do this. You don't have to do that. You join in as you want to. And I said, and let me know how it goes after a few days. I said, I will not put you in situations, you know, to get you to where you don't want to be there. And I swear the kid stayed with me for 3 years, and he turned out to be a pretty good little ball player. But yeah, it's just, I don't know how you talk to kids, and things have changed now. I probably wouldn't last 10 minutes. You know, probably half the kids would be gone with me after 10 minutes because I couldn't.
What years was you the head coach at Hurley High School?
I don't remember. Well, I don't remember.
Started in 90.
Randy was actually the coach in 90.
Yeah.
Well, I ended up being the coach in 90, but I was hired on to help Randy. And then after a week or 2 weeks, I don't remember. It was right before the first game. I think Randy decided that you know, he just didn't want to coach anymore, and so Randy resigned. And I remember I was in the classroom and I got called into the office. And I said, man, I couldn't have done nothing wrong. You know, I haven't been here that long. I said, you know, what's going on? And they said, would you be interested in the head coach? I said, I said, we got a head coach, you know. And they said, well, no, he just resigned. And I said, I got no experience head coaching. I've never been an assistant. And they said, well, we're offering you the job. I said, I'll take it. And so I guess we went 1-9 that year. Then we went, 8-2, 7-3.
I think it was 7-3 the next
8-3 in 91, 8-3 in 92.
Yeah, he had
playoff games.
Yeah.
I was thinking regular season, so I was there 4 years.
I played against your team. I was at Grundy, and I played against your team in the 93 team. And what I remember that game is when you play Hurley, Hurley gets up and Grundy gets up, just like when y'all play Garden. You know, that's bigger rivals to people.
It was a big rival.
And what I liked about it, Coach, is there was no fighting, but it's hard-nosed football on both sides of the ball.
Oh, yeah, you know there were going to be contact.
Yes. You're going to get your bell rung.
Absolutely, there were going to be contact.
Yeah. So I really enjoyed that, and I really enjoyed watching you grow as a coach, because you came in Hurley and really grew the program good.
Yep.
And when you passed it along, it was in good shape. You didn't leave it like you got it. You passed it along good. That's what I like.
They were hitting the weight room. One of the things I was most proud of is I had on the 92 team, they were like 42 or 43 kids, not a ninth grader, not one ninth grader, and they was 84 kids counting JV and varsity, and we had to order extra. I went in, I said, look, you know, Tom, we got to have some extra shoulder pads, extra helmet. We can't afford no. I said, we got to have them. He said, why? I said, we got this many kids. He said, you got that many? And I said, not one ninth grader on the, and yeah, we had some, you know, I think it's like 31, 43, 41, or so. I mean, all good numbers. I was well pleased about that.
And you grew that. You've done that.
Yeah.
You and your coaching staff done that. You hit the weight room. You made them where they're at. And I always say, Coach Hackney made the program better than he got it. And you passed that along to the next guy.
Yeah, I
and they
appreciate
seen
that.
what you done. And they started buying into your program that you started. And look where they're at now. They're still doing the same thing that you put in the program.
You know, your stats, the win-loss record back then in those 4-year spans. Now, this is going to sound skewed when I give it, but then I'll explain to you. It was 24 wins and 18 losses. But you look back in your first year.
Take the first year out. I didn't have those kids.
Exactly.
I only had, I only started. Not that it would have been any better, but, you know.
You make the preparation all season may have been different.
Well, you take that first year, we lost to Hayside, who went on to play in the regional championship.
That's right.
I went for a 2-point conversion to beat them.
And didn't make it.
That was my first year, you know, when we went 1-9. We turned around the following week in Twin Springs. We played them. Same situation. I went for a 2-point conversion to beat them and didn't get it. So we could have upset both.
Yeah, those
teams.
two games was the same exact score, 13-12.
We could have beat both district champions that year. That was the first year.
Close, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you could see, you know, kind of.
They were getting better as the season went on.
Yeah.
They were getting better.
Yeah, you could see improvement on that.
Yeah, there's the 12-13 at Twin Springs, the 12-13 Hayside, the 13-18 loss Garden. I mean, there's 3 right there.
Oh yeah, we were in later in the year, you know, as we got going.
Well, and a 6-14 loss to Pocahontas as well. So,
you know, back then, everybody that you played, you didn't really see a lot of mediocre teams that you would schedule, which you really wouldn't. Never a coach says, let's get a soft schedule. It was like, bring me whoever.
Well,
I'll play whoever.
See, I called Appalachia, and I talked to that was when they were really good.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I called several ones. We were trying to even beef it up more because after they changed the playoff, you know, you could lose 2 or 3 games and still get, you know, back then you only had 4 or 8 teams that made the playoffs. I can't remember how it went. It was 4 when I played, and then when I come coach. But all you had to do is win your district.
Automatic.
So it actually didn't matter, you know, as long as you won your district. So why not play better competition? You learn from it.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, your kids don't have that deer in the headlight look. When they do make the playoffs, they go 8-2, 9-1, 10-0, and then all of a sudden they play somebody, and it's like, what the hell did I get into?
Yeah, what just happened?
You know
That's
what
right.
did I just come up on? So I always.
That's what I tell everybody, Coach. You don't want to just play mediocre teams. To get better, you got to play better competition.
You got to play better. The better the competition you play, the better your kids will get. And then you got something to talk to them. If you do have a loss, you got something to show them during film session on Sunday or Monday, and to talk about, hey, see how this, see the program this. I mean, you got stuff to improve, help your program.
Yep.
And the 92 team, they actually were real good on the basketball court as well that year.
They were
Final Four that year.
I watched them they play.
And I mean,
They were a good group of athletes.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
You know, you had a really beefed up line too. Rodney Justice, you had John Potter. I mean, you had some Ben Bailey for his side was agile. I mean, you had a huge line that I don't know.
Michael Bailey.
Yeah, Michael.
Red. David Hensley.
Man,
you know, and see,
Wesley.
and Wesley Schaefer. See, they were something else, and several more. But there's another thing with numbers
have that size now
and a weight program. It helped me spell some of them out to where I could only play them on defense.
That's right.
You know, Anthony Hurley, you know, some of those kids, I didn't have to play both ways.
Yeah.
That's unheard of in this day.
That's unheard of, you know, but when you have, you know, it was a big, to have 42 players, I'm not saying they were all athletes, but at least there was enough that they were strong and they were good enough. And if you didn't have one good enough for offense, if he was aggressive enough and good enough, you could put him on defense. That gave you a chance to, you know.
Rest somebody.
Yeah.
That's right.
That helped you compete with the Powell Valleys and, you know, so forth, you know, so forth.
That's the coaching style I'm talking about with you, Coach.
Yeah.
I mean, you could pick a player, just like you talked about that one that you talked about in the hallway and got him come out. And you nurtured him for a little bit, and he made you a good ball player.
Yeah, you know, sometimes you got to do that.
And you can do that. You can persuade people, and you can look at a ball player and say, that's going to be my tight end, or that's going to be my linebacker. I mean, you're so talented in that, and we're fortunate to have you in Hurley for that many years to set a standard. And I can't talk enough about you because I've seen you in action.
Well, I thank you.
As
I appreciate it.
As a head coach, I've seen you pick out players that nobody would even thought about playing them.
You live down Lexington now. Do you ever go out and watch any high school ball now?
I'm 15 minutes from Boyle County High School. So if you know anything about Boyle County, they won 4 straight 4A state championships. Last year they got knocked out, maybe in the semifinals, but they got a program.
Yeah.
They have a program. Yeah, I'm 15 minutes from them.
Good.
Yeah, it's just the game has evolved, of course, through the years. A lot of it's got to do with the kids and how, you know, they are, their mindset. Do you have a hard time watching a game now compared to the way it used to be?
Yeah. For one, defenses. It seems to me like this new style, they really don't. I mean, they want to slow people down, but they don't want to stop them. I don't know, and I don't mean it in a bad way. It's just it's just the way the kids are and all everything is now. It's all about you know, points and how bad, you know, you can beat a team or something. But I like defense, you know. Sure, everybody wants to score points, but I like to see kids want to stop people from scoring points.
Yeah.
You don't see it as much as it used to be. You don't see the physical contact in sports now, which they've stopped a lot of it with the rule changes also. I understand
all
that.
The concussion stuff.
Yeah, you know, and I understand that. It's just a different but it is hard to watch some of it.
There's no pads popping as you can hear them. You know, there's no nothing.
Very seldom do you hear any pads pop. You know, unless I'm going to the wrong ball game.
Right.
You know,
Well,
I may be going to.
We
the
all
wrong
got
ball
excited
game.
the other day whenever we seen a little leaguer lay a lick on a kid that we were like, this looks like a high school hit from a little kid, but we're all excied because you don't see that hardly at the high school level now.
No,
That was Mark Cooper's
Mark
grandson.
Cooper's grandson, Hunter. Yeah.
You don't. You don't see it, and I don't know. Being away from it a little bit, I still keep up with it, but being away from it, the game's changed. It's just it's a total different, and I know it's been a long time, but still football's football. It's X's and O's, you know. It's feet, inches, passing, kicking, tackling. And it's just, but they've made it different.
Yeah. From a coaching perspective, you look now, looking back, and if you could do one thing differently, whether it be switch a player here or there, realizing their potential, what would it? Who would it been, and what position would it have been?
I've thought about that before, but I can't think of one. You know, Stevie Duty and I was talking about that the other night. I was sitting up close to the press box on the bleachers, and I was watching them, warm up. And I was watching them do agilities, and then I watched them run some plays, and I was thinking, I got to have a quarterback. I got to have somebody smart, athletic, that I can teach to be a quarterback. And that was when Jeff was playing, because you had to have a backup if something other went on. Now I called Duty up there, and I said, "Hey, what do you think about me making a quarterback out of you?" He said, "No, Coach, I don't know about that." And I said, "Well, just think about it." But
because he played tailback, didn't he?
Duty was a better linebacker than he was anything.
Yeah, he was a good linebacker.
And I thought a lot of times you got to take one of your best athletes and your smartest athletes, and you got to put him in a position that he can help you, out the best.
Mm-hmm.
Whether he should have been put somewhere else or not. If you have no quarterback that's going to take the ball, then the rest of it's for naught. But speed, we didn't have a lot of speed that hurt us. And I'm not dodging your question. I know you're thinking, hey, who would he have moved around?
Well, no, you're doing exactly what I thought you'd do, because from a coaching standpoint, you were so firm on your beliefs that you said, I've got the right people in the right position.
Yeah, I think I did.
I think you did too. I just wanted to know if you was on the same page.
I think I did, because I have went back and I have looked and I have thought, and there was no way to change with the players that I had in my mind. There was no way I could change anything around to better it. And I have went over that.
I think you looked at your players and you built your style of play around who you had.
Yeah, well,
you knew what you had.
You have
I think
to.
that's what you got to do.
You have to just, I can go to a different offense if I've got speed running 4-3s and 4-4s, and they can fly, and I can run all this, and I can do all that. But if your fastest player is running a 5-1 or a 5-3 or a 5-5, you better, you got to say, hey, I better 3 yards in a cloud of dust this and.
Oh, you hasn't changed. You ain't changed, Coach.
No, I hope I never do.
You don't need. You just keep doing.
I might need to, but I probably won't.
Do you ever think about maybe getting back into it at some level, little league or something, just try to help out?
No, not really. It hasn't entered my mind. After I coached that little league when Cade and Nick and when all of them played, I just that was it for me. And I actually have had an opportunity or two, but I just.
You had I remember a story about Bruiser. He was on that team, Kojak's boy.
Yeah.
He's a big cut up anyway. And there was a lot of good kids on there. They all had, a lot of them had good sense of humor. But he played JV ball one year, and they went up to the varsity. And I remember them telling a story about this is the kind of kids, that you want to be around. But his dad asked him, because he didn't get to watch a game or something. And he asked him, said, well, how'd you do tonight, Bruiser? He said, well, I had a double-double. He said, you did? He said, yeah, I carried 10 waters and 10 towels. I never will forget that. But, I don't know. Kids today, like you said, they are different, and coaching isn't for everybody, and it takes somebody who has a heart for it, that not just because you can like a game and not have the passion to coach it.
You can. Like the other night, I never really thought about it. And, I guess it's funny that I haven't thought about this. But I had a couple of them boys, hug me the other night and tell me, Coach, you didn't only help us here on the football field, you helped us through our life. And had it not been for you, we don't know where we would have turned out. And that was, that hit you.
Oh, yeah.
In a different. It's
That's one of the greatest forms of respect you could ever get from a player. It is,
and I absolutely, appreciated hearing that from a few of them the other night, and they have turned out great. The biggest part of them have turned out great. You know, families, good jobs, doing really good for themselves.
Yeah, I see so many of those guys. Reggie Burks, I didn't hardly recognize him with a big beard.
Yeah.
You know, he almost looked like a Mormon or something. I don't know, Amish or something, no big beard. But yeah, I mean, everybody that came in, you know, that showed up for it. You know, seemed like everybody you seen was doing good. You know.
Yeah, they were.
For their age, you know, we were none of us are spring chickens.
No, we're not, Chris.
No.
But Coach, you guys got anything else?
I just want to thank Mark. Like I said, well, I ain't gonna call him Mark. I'm gonna call him Coach.
You call me whatever.
I'm gonna call him
I've been
Coach.
called worse, I promise.
Because you're the hard nosed coach that I know it from Hurley. You brought the program where it was, like I told you before, where it is now. And it took a lot of hard work and sweat on your part. It just wasn't 2 or 3 months out of the year. It was a year-long program.
It's a year-long thing.
And you've done excellent. I just want to thank you for that. You're
Thank
an
you very
excellent
much.
coach.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Coach, you sure are. And I respect you very much.
Thank you.
Before we leave, I just had one thing. In 82, Jonesville, first playoff win ever for Hurley.
Ever. It's the first one we'd ever been in.
Yeah.
See, we stayed home at 9-1 the year before that
Yeah.
because
I
we
was getting
didn't
ready
win
to
the
mention
district. You
I
had to
remember that.
win the district to get
Yeah.
to the playoff.
I guess my big question there is, how much did that mean to you as a player and to the community at the time? Because, I mean, it was uncharted waters.
You know,
Nobody had ever experienced that.
it was absolute. You would have had to just been there to have saw the people sitting on the cliff. They were sitting literally up around the woods on the cliff. Everywhere they kick off, we got the ball. We got the ball. First play of the game, left night. I fumbled the ball. Bobble snap, fumbled the ball. They get it. They score. It's the only time they scored. But it went through our mind, and I mean, to be the first playoff game was unreal, and it's one of the best games. It was one of my best games playing, even after had made that mistake. It turned out really good. I think we won like 28-7 or something like that.
28-7. Good memory, Coach.
Well, I tell you, I don't know how.
I know I've seen a lot of pictures from it, and you could tell by just the way the field was decked out and everything. The flag in the middle, all the numbers, and just some of the pictures I've seen of the fans. It was just looked like you had the whole community behind you for sure.
I was 9th grade. We started that when that field was put in, and we laid every inch of that field of sod. The players, and anybody else in the community, or anybody else we could get to help. I mean, we literally packed that sod and laid it down and put on that field.
Wow.
And actually, I just thought of another Watt as both a player on one of the best teams at Hurley ever, one of the coaches of one of the greatest teams at Hurley ever. What is your feelings right now as far as it all coming to an end?
It's a lot to take. When you think about it, I knew it was coming. I knew it had to come.
Yeah.
It's been coming for a while.
Yeah.
But it breaks my heart.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
To know, like I said, I was one that was with them when the tractor trailers rolled in and we laid the sod. I mean, we laid that field. I watched them cut it out. I watched every brick go up. I watched, and to see it come to an end, heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Really heartbreaking. I wish the best. I hope everything goes well. I hope academically, athletics, I hope it all takes off. I hope they dominate in everything they do. But they always I'll be a rebel at heart,
That's right.
until they put me in the ground.
The good thing about the football program is we've got a rebel leading the charge there when they do take the field next year,
If I think about Greggy being there and doing that, and I shouldn't call him Coach Tester, I guess, but I think of a lot of the coaches that's came through the Hurley program that's went on to success. And one of them comes to my mind, and you had him on your staff, Lefford Gibson.
Lefford,
You know,
I
he
brought
was-
Lefford
Huge
in.
success.
It started out when see, I didn't have anyone. It was Wayne and I.
Mm-hmm.
That was it. Or Coach Hall. I guess I did the same thing you did, but Coach Hall and I it was just, you know, he and we didn't have anybody else, and so we're like, you know, and then
Almost had to get out in them hallways and recruit coaches
well,
as well.
you know, we had some that would drive Doug Clevenger. You know, he would drive buzzing. He would film. He was
a film guy.
there.
I remember Doug well.
And stuff like that. But now Lefford asked. They called me in and they told me that Lefford had applied for a job. You know, was at a hire that, you know, I would be interested in. I said, absolutely. Lefford played with me on the 82.
Yeah.
I said, yeah, bring him in. And you know, I think Lefford come in. I don't remember how many games. Actually, I'm not for sure if he was there the whole season or if he came in after a game or two. But anyway, yeah, he was an asset. You know, we didn't have a lot of coaches. We didn't have a lot of this, you know, stuff. We didn't have 10, 11 coaches. There's 2 or 3 of us, and we just did what we had to do.
Took care of business.
Yeah, Lefford's done a great job. He's went on and been successful. He done a great job.
But Coach, we greatly appreciate you joining us today, and
It's a pleasure. It's an honor to be here.
It's really good seeing you, Mark.
Thank you.
It's been a
Good seeing you,
blessing,
brother.
brother.
Appreciate it.
I'm so proud of you, Coach.
Thank you very much.